I'm Superman, and I'm practically OP as fuck. Ignore that. So, oh, my throat is so fucked up now, I guess. Going back to square one. But today I want to make a video talking about, the 1978, the first ever live action Superman. I feel like, because I have never seen this movie before in my entire life, and I watched so much of it last night, but we're going to get to why other stuff didn't happen, finishing the flick and whatnot. Maya, welcome to the page. Let's start, right? So, my first thoughts on this movie is, I know that it's extremely old, so I shouldn't be judging it based on, obviously, I'm not going to judge it based on, how long, how movies are made nowadays and stuff, because there's a different style to it. There's different style to movies back then than there are now, so I'm thinking of this in 1978, right? And one of my first complaints about the movie already, just outright, is how long certain sections of the movie are. Which one, Superman? I'm talking like the first ever live action one in 1978. Like the first ever live action Superman. From Superman the movie. It's literally called Superman the movie. But, yeah, my first complaint already with the flick is they were plastering credits, right? And also certain segments, which we'll get to in a little bit. I'll do an example, right? That's good for 1978 movie, though. You'll see why I'm bothered with it in a second, right? So, I was sitting there watching it, right? It took, we were getting this type of credits because, the people who crafted this movie, I guess back then they wanted to show them all off first, right? And let me tell you how long they were. I was sitting on my bed, mixing up between sitting here and sitting on my bed, mostly sitting on my bed for this movie. And I was just waiting for, the movie to actually start. And, it didn't start at 0.00. It started at, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes into the flick. And I'm sitting there God damn. I guess everyone's getting mentioned back in the day. And I'm not saying I have no patience, but it's I'm not used to all that. And sure, yes, I know the Rocky movies also did this. But, the Rocky movies' credits were significantly shorter, right? At least in the beginning, credits were significantly shorter than the end. I'm not talking about credits at the end, I'm talking about credits in the beginning of the flick, right? That was, my first complaint. And one of my next complaints about Superman 1978, or Superman the movie, wait, they gave credit to people at the first of the movie? Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, they gave credit to a lot of people in the beginning before the movie even actually starts, which I found that extremely weird because you guys know me. Every movie I've ever seen, puts all the credits at the end. But I kind of get it because this is the first ever live action Superman, the dude that's one of the most infamous comic books of all time, especially back in that time and whatnot. So, anyways, as I was saying, was other than that, another thing that bothered me in this movie was scenes dragging out for far too long. And what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is like a lot of scenes in this movie. I'm talking, I get the point of the scene like 2-3 minutes in, and usually whenever you have scenes in movies, like specific scenes, you don't want that shit going on for like way too long. And I feel like Superman 1978 does this throughout the entire flick. And keep in mind, the entire flick is 2 hours long, about 2 hours something long. All right, and meaning for the entire fucking flick, you're getting elongated scenes of Superman and Lois of the Daily Planet, Superman and Lois hanging out, you know what I mean? Or, for example, one of the most annoying characters that I didn't think was that funny, Lex Luthor in this movie, which I think he's another problem. He's kind of annoying to me when watching this, and especially with his moments too, like he gets elongated ass moments with him and his female and male henchmen, his weight. He's stupid, but he's super strong. And you got the smart girl, I guess, or the bad bitch on Lex's team. Which Lex Luthor in this movie, yo, I have never seen a Lex Luthor like this. I'm about to show y'all what I'm talking about. Samurai, get a lower tape fade. No, I don't want to do any of that with my hair. I'm going to show you what Lex Luthor actually looks like in the Superman movie. I'm going to also mute the TV so you guys won't get copyrighted. But other than that, right, other than those problems, I feel like in this movie as well, because of the longer segments in the movie, excuse me, it feels like a lot of moments love to drag out. And what I mean by that is like I said before, oh god, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad just watching, because I remember I was like over an hour in. God damn, that is some bright. Oh, let me turn on the internet for my place. I keep forgetting to do that all the time. It says each of the scenes are like longer, and I mean like more than 5 minutes a scene. And I'm not used to that when watching movies. I'm more used to having like 3-4 minutes, 2-minute scenes and whatnot. You know what I mean? Or I'm not really spending time thinking about how long a scene is. And I don't know, it's just, to me, like with this movie, scenes that like really matter, like I already know what the point of the scene is, and yet, oh, I think I saw the live action. Did Superman die on the movie? Superman the movie? I don't think he did, since he has multiple sequels in this one. No, but I think you're thinking of Death of Superman, like the animated flick. Yes, the movie. Yeah, okay, let me show you Lex Luthor, because I know I'd get copyrighted by having audio and whatnot. And I think I skipped over a little bit of the movie, too, because I was not having it / not understanding what was going on at all in this bit. Yeah, okay. So, you're not going to believe this, right? But this is what Lex Luthor looks like in the movie. The dude on this staircase. Who the fuck is that? That is not Lex Luthor, bro. On like he was fighting Doomsday. Yeah, then that's Death of Superman. That's an animated movie. That isn't live action. This is a completely different Superman. But who the f is this? Bro, when I saw that Lex Luthor, I flipped my shit. I said, that is not him. That is not him. Because you keep in mind, guys, since I've never seen this version of Lex Luthor, the only version I can say that's relative to that Lex Luthor right there that I've ever seen in my life, that has like hair and shit, was probably the one from Batman v Superman. That was the only other one I've seen with hair, okay? Every Lex Luthor I've ever seen, which is Superman animated series Lex Luthor, which also means like Justice League Unlimited, Lex Luthor is bold. Like, yeah, for real. Like, this Lex Luthor is supposed to be bald, bro. I don't know what the hell that even is. So trying to watch a scene with him and his goons are also kind of annoying because it's not even funny to me. It's just like, can we move on? Like, not only they have elongated scenes, right, in every character's scenes, but like there's also characters I don't like in this flick. And since it takes so long to start up, like I mentioned earlier, the planet Krypton is just now only exploding 10 to 20 minutes into the flick, which is ridiculous, by the way. I don't like that all that much. And it takes a while before we even see Superman for the first time. We can be 20, 30, 40 minutes into the flick, and we still haven't seen Superman do one thing. Other than, like, baby Clark, you know, in the flick. You know, I mean, sure, we see Clark using his powers, like, as a kid / teenager a little bit, but that isn't, like, seeing Superman in action, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't think those count, in my opinion. I think this came before he got bald. Well, no, because Lex Luthor, like I said, in most media that I've seen, he's been bald day one, bro. Lego Batman 2, bald. Justice League Unlimited, animated with Superman animated series. Justice League series from that universe, bald. Literally almost every video game, comic book adaptation of this motherfucker, bald. You don't ever see a Lex Luthor with hair, so that's kind of the first time, and it's been throwing me off, like, all night. Also, if you want to know what I'm drinking, I got, like, a Polar Pop. Got, like, 2 of them. More like a semi-Polar Pop and a, well, it's more of just blue slush to drink, but... Oh, yeah, it's practically done. But you see what I mean, though, right? And I'm not going to get on them for, like, special effects or anything like that, because since this movie is so old, it's just not fair to get on a movie for something that they didn't have any control over technology-wise, right? Yeah, back to what I was saying on Superman. But I'm not gonna lie, those problems arise so much before we even see Superman, and then even after when we see Superman, his scenes are. It feels like they're even more extended than with Lois Lane, which kind of makes sense because they're trying to give us the idea that Superman and Lois, they really like each other. Lois, like, fell in love with Superman, like, immediately, dude. It was not even... I want to talk about that scene. Give me a second. Let me switch my dad's PlayStation controller. back again because you guys know how long it takes me to do things. So, the Superman and Lois moment throughout the flick. I'm just going to talk about scenes that I've seen because I didn't bother to finish this one up. Mainly because I was getting tired of all the elongated scenes and whatnot. And I just didn't want to be bothered with that, right? So, I just wanted to kind of move on. And plus, like, seeing Jor-El and all the other characters, I was like, where is Zod at, man? Where is Zod? I'm so used to, like, Man of Steel and other adaptations of Superman that when I see this one, it just feels something else entirely. Like, whenever I try to watch this version of Superman, right? And his story and his events and stuff. But, yeah, Lois Lane, she fell for him so fast. I'm talking, as soon as they started talking, she just went high over heels for him, bro. She was talking about, can you read my mind, Superman? If you need a friend, I'll be there. If you need a lover, I'll be there too. Not even for a couple of hours that they were flying together. Right? She already fell in love with him, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. She's talking about Superman, the god. I'm literally flying with the god, which makes sense. I mean, if you flew with the god, you wouldn't, and you were a chick, you'd probably fall in love with the god immediately, but maybe, depending on how he looks or something, but, because I know they're all about that energy. But, like, other than that, I felt like, for the most part, this movie is okay. I don't think it's obviously the best Superman flick we've ever gotten. And I know, but I am definitely going to not sit here and not, you know, respect it for giving us later adaptations of Superman because, you know, a lot of people see Superman live action in theaters and stuff, and, you know, that spawned so many movies. Apparently, this version of Superman has probably more movies than every other Superman combined, I think. Which is like, I think, five solo movies about Superman. So it's kind of crazy that he has 5 movies, like 4 more movies after this one. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But, yeah. I enjoyed it for, like I said, I enjoyed it for a little bit. But then I started seeing the cracks, and that was kind of making me enjoy this one less and less. And I was kind of getting less and less patient with the movie the more I continued watching it. And in turn, that was kind of making me feel like not wanting to really pay attention to the movie anymore and not really want to kind of, like, watch it anymore. So that's why, like, in terms of, like, Superman the movie, for me, I don't know, it's alright. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen or anything, or the most boring thing, but I don't know. I just got pretty impatient with it. And I wanted them to kind of move things along a little quicker, you know, in certain scenes and stuff. I get some scenes being long. I'm not saying don't ever do long scenes with anybody ever again. It's just that in this movie, they elongate, I feel like, the wrong scenes, in my opinion. Like, this movie is about Superman saving the world, right? So let me focus on that, you know, instead of getting, like, 40 minutes of, like, barely anything Superman related in his life and stuff. But I also gotta understand as well, it is, since this live action world has never been seen before, they gotta really explore those aspects in the first movie and do the origin story and whatnot and all that, which I was okay with, the origin story and all that. But anyways, I'm stretching this video on too long. That's honestly my thoughts on Superman the movie 1978. It's okay at best. It's not the worst movie. It's not the worst Superman movie I've ever seen. Unless this is probably the worst Superman I've ever seen, then maybe it is. But to me, it isn't the worst movie of all time. It's just okay. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends. And, yeah, Arekkusu TM's out of here. Also, make sure you check out my experience with Samurai Jack Season 2. That's also a pretty great video. And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm going to take a break from playing video games, after Okay, I want everyone that's watching to keep this in mind after I get Sonic X Shadow Generations. So Thursday, whenever I get the game, I'm going to be playing that a lot. Maybe to the finish, right? But after that game, you're going to be seeing a lot more of my experiences on like movies, TV shows, and whatnot, because video games have been kind of ruining me as of late, and not in a good way. So I'm trying to like kind of take a break and do other things like watch TV and do more of that stuff and make videos based off that instead of like just always playing video games all the time. But anyways, oh, and for shorts, I'm still going to upload shorts, but it's not going to be like the rage compilations. It's not going to be the rage / funny moments comps that I always post, okay? It's probably, you're probably going to be seeing shorts like once every like Friday. Because Dragon Ball Daima, new episodes of it come out every Friday, so I'm going to be still doing like the Daima shit in short form because it's very new Dragon Ball series, so that's why I'm not making like live stream versions of it, but I'll do shorts of that. But other than that, I won't be doing shorts on much of anything else. So keep that in mind when you're watching the Arekkusu TM channel. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends, and what's your thoughts on Superman 1978?